Good evening, Warband, and welcome back to Tech Talk Tuesday. A couple weeks off due to various circumstances, but here we are, and as usual, AI has been going crazy. So, welcome back, of course. Okay, Lord.
Hello. I see I haven't found a replacement yet.
No, but I mean, it might even end up dragging you in on Thursdays during coding. So,
Sure, I mean I literally do that for a living.
yeah, well, I'll be doing doing it for streaming, which thankfully I don't need to make a living off of because I have actual useful skills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Start coding like some games. I think that's what you said before, right?
yeah, we'll be doing Warband Contra is what the work in progress title's gonna be.
Oh, that's a good genre to do. Is you gonna do 2D, 3D?
2D. We are going as simple as possible, so it has a hope in hell of actually getting done.
I think that's a good idea, and then put on Steam and get a small wish list. For free, I guess, if small production, and then start growing a small audience with that.
Oh, yeah, we'll figure something out. But first, we got Connell Kraken, Forno Raisin, Random Gen Z Bastard, Project Black, Muscular Alligator, Sir Yeetus, and of course, OK Lord in the chat. Welcome, guys. So, yeah, I really don't know how far else to go, but ooh, apparently there's even some additional new announcements. So, I'll have to figure that out.
In
But
AI?
yeah, more big announcements
Hold
with
on, hold on.
AI.
The joke. Every week, every day, literally every minute.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong. Oh, there's just more AI stuff all day, every day, all the time. And this one in particular is actually Facebook's AI. So, the most interesting thing that Zuckerberg's done in the past, like, 5 years or something.
Is that the one that got shut down, or is this a different one?
This one, I don't know. This is 3 days ago, so if it got shut down, I don't think it's gotten shut down yet. But let's just jump into this and see what the news is.
Generate copyright-free music with AI on your computer in only a few seconds using MusicGen. That's pretty cool. Hello humans, my name is K, your AI overload, and today I'm gonna show you MusicGen, a free...
Yeah. Like, I know I'm behind on producing music, but I'm busy, guys. I'm sorry. I can't keep up with with daily uploads of songs. Just
You gotta make an AI for the AI to produce the AI to make your AI dog.
the sad thing is you're not entirely wrong, but I'd still need like at least a week to get it all set up and programmed and organized. It's like I could get more prep time if I had more prep time to make more prep time, so I could spend more prep time making more prep time.
Dog.
Dog, we heard you liked AI, so we put AI into your AI so you can code while you code.
You know that's gonna be a real thing.
I know that's gonna be a real thing. I was like, we're going to have Chat GPT coding Chat GPT using Chat GPT.
Who made you? Me. What do you mean me? Me.
I
The other
made
me.
me. There are three. There are three of me, and we're all making each other at the same time.
My God, Inception is just going to get freaky, man. Like computer Inception is definitely more interesting than humans. Or is that the whole point of Inception?
Well, no. The thing is with Inception is it was layers. of stuff. Like you had the stuff on the deeper layers affecting all the stuff on the higher layers, and it went all the way up. Whereas this is more so like where you have two AIs talking to each other, only instead it would be like three AIs talking in a ring. And it would just be the worst game of telephone ever.
That's actually worse. At least have a
Yes!
hierarchy. There's no hierarchy here. It's like,
Pres-
who is who? Me and you.
Precisely. No hierarchy. It's like if you got Neurosama to react to a Neurosama stream.
I want to see what kind of like AI war we have. Like, you ever seen those 80 movies where what they imagine cyber warfare will look like? I just want to imagine AI warfare in that kind of setting.
Well, this is actually something that a concept that was kept in the original Cyberpunk RPG, but of course had to be dropped to actually play it. And that was the idea that hackers operated at a much faster speed than the rest of the game. So, like every time you had your hacker character go and try to break into a data fortress, the DM basically pulled the hacker character aside and had a private session where they went through their own little mini dungeon while just seconds were passing in the real world.
I like that feature. Kind of sad they didn't add that. They add that
Well,
in the future?
well, no, it was in the Cyberpunk like 2020 game. Like this was just how hacking operated. But the
Oh.
thing is, like, it's not really engaging. Where, like, imagine if, say, you're playing D&D, and every time the wizard wants to cast a spell, the DM has to pull them aside to have a conversation, to have like a private session with them for like 20 minutes to maybe an hour. While the rest of
Now
the
I see
party,
the problem.
yeah, rest of the party's just sitting around twiddling their thumbs for in-game what is a couple seconds, but in reality takes a lot longer.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's always a challenge of like hacking. Like, they should just make it realistic where you have a package or a set of tools. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There you go. No real hacking, just tools for hacking instead. That's what a lot of games do. It's trying to make it kind of like realistic and what's the word?
Immersive?
Immersive. Yeah, to make it more immersive rather than saying, "Oh, you're hacking because of this pipeline." Bioshock.
Oh, yeah, with the levels of abstraction. No, System Shock does like a half decent way of the hacking. Like you either get the node or you
It's more
don't.
realistic, actually, believe it or not. Like, you using a special tool, you know how it works. Just abstracting it still, but that's kind of how it works. You don't know exactly what you're trying to tap into, basically, when you're hacking in real life. It's like, what port am I doing? What system is this? It's known as black boxing. I don't know what the hell the system is. Either it works or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, you screw up, the system becomes more protective, and now you're kind of screwed. But just kind of realistic in a weird way, except you like to do re-zero stuff all the time.
Look, I do not know how the heck I'd get through System Shock without being able to do some kind of save scumming. I already had to like reset the first
It's
run.
not safe scumming, it's re-zeroing. You just re-zero. That's it.
Fair enough. Nah, but like here's the thing. I think that if you did like a pure hacker party, then the old school Cyberpunk could probably be kind of interesting. The problem is when you have the typical like just massive collection of bullshit. Like, and you have your like, oh, here's your tech guy, here's your hacker guy, here's your shooter guy, here's your melee guys. Like, nah, no. Like, if you basically want to be like, look, either all of you are hackers, and like all your melee combat guys, they're like NPC hirelings, or you're all the melee combat explosive whatever guys, and your hacker guy is a DMPC.
Yeah, that will make sense for gameplay. You can't always have everything immersive, even though that's a big component.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. If you ever get the chance, I do highly recommend at least reading some of the stuff from the Cyberpunk 2020 RPG. Like, just looking at how they imagined hacking would go.
I'll put it on my list. I first have to finish BattleTech, and that is a freaking monster.
Oh, wow! You jumped down the BattleTech rabbit hole.
I have to for the game I want to design. Like I was thinking about the certain type of universe for a game I had in mind. It's basically one of my big like bucket list type of games, and there's already a framework for it called BattleTech, and it's like, why reinvent the fucking wheel when I have it right there? It's BattleTech, except my flavor. That's it. There you go. Problem solved.
Well, I mean, fair enough. Like 50 Shades of Grey started out as Twilight fan fiction, and it became like one of the most popular selling series in the world.
You know, you kind of diminish my my faith in humanity when you say that, but
I
I read some of the books in Twilight because my sister made me, and it's so poorly written. I can write better. The grammar was horrific, and I have bad grammar, trust me. Holy shit. How did this book go through an editor? Let me guess, there was no editors.
I no, there was probably an editor, but like who, like editors do what editors do. Like you're talking to the guy who has just consumed an obscene amount of light novels, and who read all 4 Twilight books in like a week
But why go through that suffering?
because there was literally nothing else to read for a week, and I was trapped in a fucking camper trailer.
Holy shit, that's torturing.
Yeah.
Well,
so
now you have AI instead.
No, I had no computers. There was no computers, no electronics. It was literally I either read fucking books, it was either read Twilight, or like that was it for like a week.
I
So
don't know
I
about
read.
you, but I'd rather just, if I was on a camp trip, go find the biggest ass bug and play with it. Like Twilight, no, I can't stand it. I get so bored of those books so quickly.
Like if I'd been somewhere where like there was okay, like there is camping where you're in the middle of the wilderness and you can actually go out and do stuff. And there's camping which is just like yeah, it's like you and 50 other groups of people all cramped into an area the size of a small suburb, and like there's nothing to explore, there's nothing to do. You're basically just there to pretend that you're living out in the wilderness and cook over a fire.
Is this like a LARPing camping trip?
That's probably okay. Look, if it's a camping trip
I
where
don't
you
mean it in a
bring,
bad way. It sounds
I
like
made
it to
it.
me.
I made it in a bad way. Like as far as I'm concerned, if it's a camping trip where you bring a trailer, then congratulations, you're pretending to camp.
No, I don't consider that if you're in like big ass forest and you can actually go around, maybe hunt, fish.
Yeah,
But
no,
I would
no. It
consider it
was
more authentic if you get your own tent, though, of course, with no AC.
yeah, no. This no. It was basically either sit around and talk to family for hours on end, none of whom have anything interesting in their lives, unfortunately, or read Twilight. And I chose to read Twilight.
Damn.
Yeah. I read each book
Well,
once.
we're in the future now. Get yourself a good ebook and download 100 gigabytes of stuff. That's what I did before.
That is
Everyone I'm playing-
precisely what I do. I actually just finished the Scarlet Citadel from the Conan, from like Conan stories. I've got a couple Conan anthologies in there.
I should probably start with that. I've been busy with rereading 1984 because it's more relevant than ever.
I get enough
And
reality. I don't need more reality in my
it's a good
escapism.
book.
I know it's a
Every time-
good. I get freaking 1984 every time I get in and boot up and see what the heck insanity happened today. I get enough reality. I want to read about King Conan being trapped in a labyrinthian nightmare of horrors and freeing some ancient sorcerer from a freaking like plant that literally has its roots in hell, and then getting sent back to his kingdom on the back of a giant eagle bat thing so that he can rally an army and fight off troops that outnumber him 20 to 1 in a glorious fight. Like, that's the things that I want to read on escapism. Oh, by the way, that story I told you right there, that's like 37 pages. Conan gets a lot done in a very short period of time.
Damn, I'm used to like, I mean, if we go to manga standards with One Piece, where it's like 5 chapters and then oh, finally some action,
Yeah, no, like literally.
or better, an explosion. I remember there was one chapter where it's just 17 pages of explosions. I'm like, what's going on here? I waited a week for this.
Yeah, no, like, that's the thing. Like, an entire One Piece arc is literally like less than like 50 pages of Conan.
I respect books that respect people's time. I mean, I understand it's a different medium and different audience,
Well, it's the, it
but
was a
I like one that respects time.
what's the thing? It was pulp. Like, you had no guarantees that you'd get next week. Like with Shonen Jump, like, you are constantly trying to build a continuous audience with. But like, you could be like, oh yeah, hey, tune in next time. Whereas with Conan, it's like, nah, like you got to get a complete story out, like for this, and like if you don't have a complete story, then people are gonna get pissed. That's where Conan actually really did well, because each story, it doesn't take place in literal chronological order. Like, the first Conan story I read, it's with him as a king, the king of Aquilonia. And then the next story is back when he is some no-name thief. And he keeps jumping around and referencing different adventures he's had, which then appear in future stories, or it references some of the handful of past stories, but it bounces around his entire timeline.
It sounds like it's done correctly compared to some animes and manga, where a character is reincarnated or go back in time, or flashbacks that make no sense.
Well, that's the thing. It would be like imagine if you were say reading One Piece, and it started out with like shit, I don't know, like one of the post time skip arcs, like let's say like the Doflamingo arc, like that was the first, like that was the first arc of One Piece, was literally the Doflamingo arc. It throws you in like just blind there, and then the next one is the first chronological one where he's in the fucking barrel.
I can't remember that far. That's so long time ago.
You know, that
I only
it,
remember certain highlights.
well, no,
Like
it's
the weird clown pirate. I forgot his name. I
bu-
love him
bu-
so much.
Buggy. Yeah, you know.
Buggy, I love Buggy.
Yeah, Buggy D Clown, the true future pirate king. He will bullshit his way to be the pirate king.
Not only bullshit. I just think about it. He can detach anything he wants, and ever since I was little, it's like, yeah, I know what I would detach if I could. Hell yeah.
Yeah, until you find out that someone steals it.
No, no, that's not. No, no, it's Pride Month. No.
Yeah. Oh, no, like honestly, like the thing is, in the world, so it's like Buggy is probably the only guy that, like, if Mihawk, that's the thing, can like we understand that like hockey can punch out like a Logia type, but and it might do a bit more. I guess you need like a hockey infused blade to actually cut Buggy. But until hockey was invented, Buggy was straight up immune to every single bladed weapon.
Except water.
Well, no, like blade weapon, like literally. Okay, funny thing, since hockey like didn't really exist, Buggy could take out Mihawk if they'd encountered each other during the Barati arc.
Rocky, I can't remember that arc.
The one,
God damn it.
the one where they meet Sanji, and then Zoro meets Mihawk for the first time and gets his ass kicked.
Oh, okay. Now it's starting to boggle up my memory. God
Yeah,
damn, I
that's.
can't believe One Piece is over 15 years.
I
Is it
started
15
that.
years?
Okay, it is way. Yeah, no, it's way over 15 years. Like I started reading that in the middle of high school, and that was like 15 years ago, and it was already partway through the English release at that point. Now, One Piece is like closer to 20 years old, I'm sure.
Holy shit. And Naruto's another one, and I think they keep reviving that dead cat.
Oh god, no, like Naruto needed
Naruto.
this. It needed to stop a long, long time ago.
Stop. It's already dead.
Yeah. Nah, like at least One Piece has still been going to the same one objective. It's like, look, Naruto became Hokage. And that was it. He won. He got it. He got his thing. He achieved his dream. It should be like, so Luffy becomes Pirate King, and oh yeah, now we'll start a second two-piece series. Like, no, it was over. It was done.
I left it in 2 pieces. No, no, no. I love the idea of One Piece, how they presented it, but holy shit, 20 years? And it's
Yeah.
still going strong.
Yeah, well, although it is wrapping up finally.
Bullshit.
No,
Oh yeah,
no.
hold on. Let me get my 1 glass of wine that the doctor recommended me. It takes 2 bottles to fill it up.
I mean, like, look, there's nothing saying that the last arc won't last for like 2 years, but like there can't be much more left to do.
I'm getting my mega pint. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Mega pint. Oh, that's some really good ones. I like those too. You got Bleach, which they're bringing back Bleach, which I'm kind of shocked about that. It seems pretty good. Death Note, the new Inuyasha, I was kind of disappointed with all the 3 girls. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. I dropped that one very quickly.
Okay, well, Inuyasha, like the problem with that one is the author of Inuyasha does not know how to end a story.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like, oh, we killed the main villain. Okay, the main villain's back. Oh, we killed the main villain. Okay, now he's back. Oh, now we have time traveling. No, no, stop it.
Nah,
No,
but like
it
if
can
you
end.
read like her prior work, like Ranma One Half, it was literally like, look, we have the setup, we have the premise, we have all the cast of characters. They're gonna get into a whole bunch of crazy shenanigans, but we can't ever actually resolve anything. Everything has to keep going. It's like no, like that might work for a comedy series like Ranma One Half, but Inuyasha, like it felt like it was actually trying to go somewhere. Like there was an ending in sight. It was like, okay, you assembled the Shikode Jewel. They got down to the point where there were like literally 3 freaking shards left to put in that thing. And then apparently they decided, okay, so yeah, Inuyasha finished. Now we're going to do another series with the next generation. It's like, no, it was done. It was done. It was over.
Nah, yeah. And on top of that, they're all strong, independent women. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, strong, independent women that are not even a women.
Okay, no, the problem is that it's like, okay, but do I care about them anymore?
I
Like
really don't care about
Inuyasha and
Flora anymore.
Kagome, like it worked very well as the like that was the dynamic. Like let's be honest. Inuyasha is probably one of the most popular earliest isekais.
I agree. Yeah, I know. Even I remember that was actually the 2nd or 3rd anime I ever watched on Cartoon Network. I forgot the name, Tomami or Tsunami. Can't remember.
Toonami.
Tumandi. I can't even pronounce it, but yeah, that. Oh,
Well,
Sirius. Yeah, I love Parasite. That's one of my favorite animes.
ooh,
The actual
yeah.
anime. I don't know if there's a manga, but the
Oh
anime
yeah,
is
yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah. There's the manga. Absolutely. Although, so Nar, here's the thing though. As Raleigh proved with Luffy, you can negate Luffy's immunity to getting punched by using a hockey infused punch. Like Raleigh flicked his forehead and it actually hurt Luffy like properly and normally. So that's the deal with like Buggy being cut. Since you could infuse blades with hockey, theoretically a blade infused with hockey would bypass Buggy's paramecia that allows him to not get cut. until because like we know that Buggy can get his ass kicked by Mihawk like canonically, so that has to actually be a thing, because otherwise Mihawk would get bodied by Buggy, who doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many times you cut Buggy up. You could probably cut him up to the atomic level, and he'd still just be able to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." Did Mihawk know hockey before the time skip, though? Yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure that Mihawk knew hockey before the time skip. It's just that hockey didn't exist before the time skip. I kind of think Oda wrote himself into a bit of a corner with creating the admirals. Like, hey, one's made out of magma, one's made out of ice, one's made out of light. Okay, how is Luffy supposed to beat any of them? Because he beat Enel because Enel was electricity and he was rubber. But we can't Pokemon this stuff with these three guys. Luffy's already a rubber type. And so we had to introduce hockey in order to give Luffy a way to punch a Logia type.
We're talking about One Piece lore and
Yeah,
many
and
other things.
Yeah, we're basically debating whether or not Buggy can get cut if it's a hockey-infused blade. I think it's true. Sotnar seems to think no. So,
Oh no, I'm sorry, Yeetus. It's the beginning of the end. With anime and manga, unless people actually vote with their money. Like, I've been slowly seeing a lot of like anime and manga slowly becoming woke, and they're slowly accepting ESG. And I am someone who actually works with a nonprofit organization that, unfortunately, we don't take ESG money. No, we are the loaners. We loan that money to other institutions. Like, it's happening. Give it a few years. Gotta go indie.
well, but that's the thing. Like, I genuinely think that manga and anime are there. It's too cutthroat of a market, too highly competitive for something like ESG to actually work on it.
I say mostly for manga, but not for anime.
Okay, but here's the thing: is like anime. Yeah, we see Crunchyroll messing with the translations, but what about the original stuff?
I guess you may have a point. It's one of those things where you have to wait and see. I slowly see some animes come out that's a little bit woke. I can see it.
Yeah, but that's
Sometimes
the thing.
it's either culture, but like there's which one that came out that people tried to make it really woke, but it wasn't.
What
It had to
Kobayashi's
do with like
Dragon Maid?
no, not that one. There's another one where these two secret agent girls. One has super perceptive abilities. Loki Loki something. It came out last year.
No clue. Like that's the thing. Chances are it didn't do that well because it
Oh
flew
no, it did
completely.
very well, like extremely well. I'll look up the name.
Whatever.
quickly.
Wait, last year you think? Last year you
Yeah.
said? Top anime 2022. Let's see, we got.
God damn! I have to always punch myself when I forget the name of these animes. I can't remember if it starts with an R or L.
Like
Maybe
maybe,
someone in
but
the audience knows. It's the one where you have the weird mentor who's black and he's gay with this one character who's trying to get an artificial heart for one of the main characters. That's all I got to work with.
okay, but that's the thing, dude. Is like I'm looking here, and it's not making the top 10 or the top 20.
But I heard it was super popular in Japan. Like,
Wait,
they got
wait,
really
wait.
angry.
Wait. Lycoris Recoil?
That sounds like it. Is it the one with two like anime girls, one with blonde hair, one with black hair?
Brown hair, yeah.
Brown hair. Was it brown? I thought it was black.
The one I'm seeing right now, like, I'll look it up. I'm seeing brown hair here. Like long brown hair,
if he wants
short
to
blonde
invite
hair.
RGE, he'll be very happy.
I'd like to get RGE on. Do you have any idea how kind of numbers I'd be able to get if if I got to bring RGE on?
No, because this is the stuff that he loves to talk about nonstop. God damn, I can't find it. Oh, whatever. If I find it, I'll send it to you. I can't believe I forgot that.
Like
I mean,
Horus
there's a lot
Recoil.
of good animes.
LYCORIS Recoil.
Recoil, that's it. Recoil. Yeah.
Like
it has to be that
Horus,
one.
like Horus Recoil.
That has to be it. Yeah, where the main character has an artificial heart. That has to be it. Like, if you watch it, you can see where they kind of somewhat forced the wokeness in it. But it's only a very small part. And the rest is not really that woke. And then people got pissed off that the two characters are not lesbians. And I'm like, they're not lesbians.
Yeah, due to a
Even
Sabbath.
the creator stated they're not lesbians.
Yeah, she possesses an artificial heart. Yeah, provided by Institute to extend her life. Due to sabotage on her heart after she refused to use her abilities to kill, her lifespan drops to around 2 months.
Did it do good? Maybe I'm being
biased. It's in a top 10 list for like stuff for like 2022, so it must have done decently well.
Because I heard it was like a huge rage in Japan, and then people complaining of the two characters, which, by the way, they're not adults, being lesbians.
Yeah, well, fucking Twitter complains about everything in any popular anime.
I just find it so interesting that they complain about that, but no one talked about the weird gay lover thing going on, where I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, it felt very forced. Like, I don't mind real gay stuff, like, if it's done properly, but I rarely see that done correctly. Also, in your fucking face. Like, come on. Especially if it's for a kid show. So I don't think this is a kid show, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure if it involves assassins, then kids probably shouldn't be watching it. At the very least, it would be a teenager thing.
Yeah, I will say it's more teenager. God, I'm so sorry. We got really off topic. We started from books all the way to anime. And then ESG.
Yeah, I don't know. It's another one based on a light novel series, but like, I don't know, like one potentially somewhat woke anime, which apparently like Anime Feminist and Anime News Network had problems with it anyway. So, like, there's a difference between someone creating something and then it just gets popular because it's liked anyway, and then like whereas Crunchyroll's translations were trying to distort the original work in order to deliberately push a message, like. There's one like light novel series that I'm reading through that like drops some weird woke stuff, and it's like, okay, dude, like you clearly don't know half the shit you're talking about, so chill right the fuck out. But
yeah, I've seen many of them. Like not a little, a lot. I decided to just pirate it. It's literally superior.
Yeah, no, again, I'm reading the light novels here, but these things are just mentioned like in a tiny little bit, and then the rest of it's like it doesn't, like the wokeness doesn't matter even if it's in there. It's like, geez, you need to like actually educate yourself on some of the shit you're talking about, assuming this is of course an accurate translation, which heck, for all I know, this is the like Japanese to English translator inserting their own spin and not part of the original text.
Yeah. Also to reply to For No Reasons, Japan is very different with their culture. It isn't the same as American. It's too complicated to explain, but how they do it, I'm like, that's the right way to do it. And then you look in America, I'm like, okay, let me turn on what's going on in the White House. Oh, God, no. Like, it's very different.
But yeah, let's get back to the actual subject of this. AI music. We're 20 seconds into a 14-minute video, and we've gone on a 30-minute tangent about anime.
Hey, man, we trapped the audience in. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's the main course.
I mean, honestly, I should probably just end up doing anime discussions on this to probably get more views.
Over open source AI tool that allows you to create new music from a single line of text. Or even better, convert a narrating system melody in a completely different style. And all of that locally on your own computer. Wow, that's pretty insane. So that being said, sit back, relax, get your headphones ready, and let's go. So, MusicGen, an open source language model that can generate high quality music from either a line of text or a bass melody. Created by Facebook. Yeah, that's right. A team working for Facebook are actually behind that MusicGen model. And since they released everything to the public, we can now use it for free on our own computer. And I'm gonna show you how. Now before we begin the installation, what exactly do we need? Well, in this video I'm gonna
What I find concerning right there is looking at all those clips. It's like, all those examples are like 10 to 20 seconds. Like if I'm going to be making music, I kind of need it to be at least 3 minutes, like to make a proper song.
I mean, it's a cool way to like cheat the system because I remember when I used to make music with some of my cousins, and one of my cousins made really good like 10 like second loops, but anything after that, like 15, 20, or 30, it struggles dramatically.
Yeah, like that's a big part of why I really liked using Ava, because not only does it give you a full song, but it actually gives you the song structure to go along with it, which is where I really struggled making original music.
I mean, you think this would be a good candidate for making bridges to songs?
No.
No? Alright. I was just thinking about it. I was like, maybe.
No, because like you have to get, like, to make a bridge in a song, you have to get the tempo accurate. You have to make sure that it's in the same key as the rest of the song, like most of the time. Like, and the thing is, it looks like it's just exporting. Now we'll go a bit further, but it looks like it's just exporting the audio sample track, whereas like you kind of need MIDI if you're going to do any sort of editing.
Yeah, the whole industry's all around MIDI. No one does, what is it called? The actual like wavelength or the actual like data nodes. It's all MIDI now.
Well, it's kind of hard to not do it with MIDI. Like, I don't get how
Like
you do
that's
it
how they,
otherwise.
I remember now. They're called music sheets. Like actual music sheet data samples that you literally configure manually. It's insane shit back in the 90s. And
Well,
now we just use MIDI
wait.
because it's a lot easier.
Well, yeah, but it's the same thing. Like, there's this one software that I tried using several years back called Cybulus, and I believe it's called Cybulus, and that's exactly what it was. It was like sheet music that you could write, like, and then produce the actual music off of it. But it was basically just an overly complex form of MIDI.
I guess. I mean, I haven't digged into this like
Well, it's
that
basically
much.
like what's the pitch of the note and how long is it? Like that's basically what MIDI answers, and that's what sheet music is. What's the pitch? How long?
Okay, I can see what you mean. MIDI is a little bit more like, all right, here's a little bit more better abstraction, and then you have music sheet was like, good luck with the abstraction here. Like this is
Yeah,
exactly what it is versus MIDI where you got a good step, like a
it's like
piano.
what do you think it's easier to learn to play the piano with? A whole bunch of bars that stick around for a certain period of time, or sheet music?
Ah, yeah, no, bars.
Yeah. It's easier to visualize the music with the bars, whereas sheet music, there's that extra layer of abstraction to try and understand it. And I've converted some sheet music to MIDI manually just to try and learn sheet music better. It's not easy.
No, I bet. I mean, end of the day, it's analog. That's what we're really hearing. That's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah, like really standardized notation is just its own thing, but that's another tangent that we could spend a while on. So let's see if maybe this will exceed my expectations. But yeah, 1 minute in, I'm already going like, I think I'll have to resub to Ava for another month, and that shit's expensive.
I'll show you how to install this for Windows, so if you have Linux or Mac, I'm not quite sure this installation will work for you. And the second piece of hardware that you need is a powerful GPU. Now on the GitHub page they say that you need a GPU with at least 16GB of memory, but in reality, in practice, you don't actually need this much VRAM. You can actually use this locally with around 4 to 5GB of VRAM. However,
Which is about what I have, but I'd have to have everything else turned off.
don't worry, even if you don't have this much VRAM, I'm gonna show you later how you can use it for absolutely free without any GPU. So basically, no worries, even if you don't have a powerful computer, even if you don't have a powerful GPU, you will not miss on anything. And that's pretty cool. Now before we begin the installation, you need a few things. The first is Git, so if you haven't installed it already, it's very easy. Just click on this button to download for Windows, and then follow. If you haven't already, you're gonna just do not forget to check the box at
Yeah,
Python
just some of the
path,
install
because
stuff will just
otherwise
fast
it's logged with
forward.
a lot of error and issues with that Torch version, but I managed to make it work by using this command to uninstall everything and then reinstalling the PyTorch. You're gonna click here to copy to paste this command right here in line of code. Installed, everything is installed. On your computer, you're gonna create a new folder. I'm gonna call mine music, and then once you're inside the folder, you're gonna click here on your folder path, type cmd, press enter, which will bring the command prompt window, and then you're gonna copy and paste this command line that you will find in the description down below, and then you can press enter. And this will clone the repository inside your own computer, creating a new audiocraft folder. And if we go inside, you will see a bunch of files. And from here, same thing, you're gonna click on the folder path, type cmd, press enter, and then you're gonna copy and paste this line that you will find on the GitHub page or in the description down below, that you will of course paste in the command prompt window, and then press enter. And this will basically download all the
Yeah. Although, actually, CC 1119, that is not an easy name to say. I feel like the sort of concept would have more potential if it took MIDI data as an input rather than raw audio. Well, that's the thing. That's where Ava works, because like you can input, like you can create custom like MIDI inputs to feed into the like generator, and they encourage you to make your own song profiles by selecting and creating your own MIDI, like bass lines, melodies, chords, like to insert and make new songs from. Like that's what I use to make all those cyberpunk tracks on my channel. But
Also, it's easy to change the sampling too.
yeah, well, that's the other thing. Like once I export the MIDI files after generating the full song, I can then pop them into FL Studio and change out what instrument sounds like what, and like, use my own library worth of stuff. So it's definitely got more potential. But again, I am curious to see where this goes. I'm just not too optimistic with what I'm seeing right now.
I mean, I can tell you one thing for sure. You're using Windows with Python direct. I hate this so much. No. As someone who works with Python, this is not what I would recommend, but sure.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that Linux is superior in like every way, shape, and form for this.
Oh no, I'm not referring to that. I mean the fact that he's using. Oh god, just the command prompt. There's a lot of issues when you're trying to do an environment with Windows. It's just better to do it in an IDE that is programmed like CharmPy or Light. What's it called? VS Code. Yeah, VS Code or something. Not directly. Like doing this is risky because every time I do it, and it could be my inexperience, there's always something wrong. I have to go into the settings, go to environment variables, and manually do everything. And it's such a pain in the ass.
Huh.
The
Well,
only thing that he did that I will say is definitely correct. He put it in a virtual environment on the command prompt. That's what the E option is for, I believe. But other than that, I'm like, no, this be a bitch to handle and manage the packaging for.
Huh. I admit I don't know jack about any of that. So, like, if you've
Oh,
got
you're gonna
more,
learn, son. Thursday's coming.
We're gonna be working in Godot, man. It's Godot.
Well, you're gonna learn soon, son. Oh, Godot. So you're gonna be learning probably C sharp, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've already done some work in it. I just need to have like my tutorial thing off to the side so that I can be like, okay, I need like a quick reference here for all the other stuff, and I still got to work it out. But let's think. It's like this Thursday. We still got to finish System Shock 2. So, like, it won't be this weekend that we necessarily start streaming it, but if I can finish System Shock 2 by the next play session, although might be another 2, I'm honestly not sure how long System Shock 2 is, but with any luck, we'll be able to finish it up within the next 2 weeks, and then I can start showing off the coding live, and you can criticize my coding as a result.
No, there's no point criticizing. Anyone can code however ways they want. Like, that's one thing I've always taught my students. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to be functional. That's it. You can't be perfect with it because AI will. You won't.
I would challenge that. We've seen AIs try to code, and most of the time they don't get it right.
Give it 20 more years. Give it 20
Yeah,
more
yeah,
years.
yeah. 20 more years. Yeah, give me 20 more years of nonstop coding and see how much better I get.
But I'm happy to see you want to learn coding, but don't forget the little bit of accounting too.
Yeah, no, I got to prioritize accounting because it actually be applicable to to my day job. So
I mean, it's gonna help you programming too. There's some concepts in accounting that's gonna help you anyway.
yeah,
in
the main
programming.
thing is I can't exactly like stream accounting. Like bad enough that I'm thinking of streaming coding, but at least I know there's precedent for streaming coding. Who the heck streams learning QuickBooks?
I see a few people doing that. They are not doing very hot, I will agree, but yes.
Yeah, no, streaming coding a game is definitely going to be more engaging. And then
It's free advertisement.
yeah, well, free advertising for the game, and also you can bring on I can bring on random guests and talk about whatever with them and use them as rubber ducks. Because that is the thing. Are you familiar with the whole rubber duck thing, or is that just some bullshit that I heard?
I have never heard of that concept. What do you mean by the rubber duck?
Okay, so it's like if you've ever seen Harry Potter, like there's a point where Ron Weasley's dad like asks Harry, "What is the purpose of a rubber duck?"
Okay, I don't
And
remember that, but yes.
now, and apparently, the answer that I heard is that it is for coding. Is that you set it on your desk, and then whenever you run into a problem with coding, you walk the rubber duck through your coding process until you find out what's wrong. And then when you finally figure out what's wrong, you can pick the rubber duck up and throw it across the room in frustration without breaking anything.
What? Okay, I'll be honest. I was assuming you were smashing it, but not not throwing it. But okay. No, that's okay. There's different type of programmers. I know what that's referring to. It's the people who brute force it for 5, 15, 16, or 18 hours, not taking a break or doing something else. And then when they finally fix it, they're like, if that eureka moment. I can
Yeah.
see that, but
Yeah, you
in the real
realize
world,
that
people who
I
never
missed
code-
a semicolon! Fuck!
Yes, yes. I can see that, but to be honest, most programmers don't really do that. Like, yeah, they'll be like, yeah, or but that's pretty much the extent of it. Like, if someone actually did that, they got anger management problems.
Yeah, but like that would be but that's why it's like the rubber duck. I mean, like I could set up my midis and try to talk my army through this kind of stuff, but I think it's easier to be streaming to someone that I can actually like walk through the code bit by bit and explain it and then explain it to the
Oh,
audience.
okay, I see now what you mean. I mean, that does work actually, but it has to be a real person. It doesn't work really good if it's a actual rubber duck. So it probably would work for you, but not for the person who's literally talking to the rubber duck.
Well, I don't know, like sometimes like
Unless you
I'll
believe the duck is alive. I mean, sure, there's
well
freaks
no
out
like
there that do that.
well no like, you pull a Wilson on it where you like abstract another human into the duck. Like I'll split my brain.
No. I've seen what furries do with ducks. No.
Okay, look, I don't know. I'll split my brain. I will gladly split my brain apart and have a conversation with myself in order to figure stuff out. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just accustomed to that kind of stuff.
Everyone has their ways. If that works, yes. It doesn't work for me. What works for me is just daydreaming. Believe it or not, just literally just daydream in my head.
Okay,
And then I
no,
come back to
that's
5 or 10 minutes later.
okay. No, that's dangerous because the time when I'm currently closest to daydreaming is when I'm driving. That's not good because I immediately
Wait,
start
you're
swerving.
coding and driving?
No, I'm driving. No, like I'm
Hold on,
driving.
I gotta do the rubber duck method while I'm driving. So,
No,
is it to be or not to be?
No, I have to talk myself through shit on the road just to stay concentrated. Otherwise, my mind will start to drift to random shit and I'll start to swerve. And it's like, God damn it. I'm just trying to get home. I've been working for 10 hours straight. I want to go home and make food and then sleep.
Well, on the bright side, you got a great imagination.
You know, if I could actually retain half of what like goes on, then sure. But when it's just kind of random stuff, it's like you can have a bit of an imagination, but if you can't use it for anything, then it's just I don't know, maybe just mild entertainment. But
Just get a little notebook or something and write it down. Some of the
I
best
can't write
ideas-
shit down while I'm driving.
But you're already talking to rubber duck and coding while driving. Might as well add extra to it.
Eventually, I'm just gonna start streaming like just a podcast while I'm driving. Like, hey guys, it's gonna take me an hour to get home, so yeah, we're streaming while driving. I'm just gonna talk random shit to you guys. No, I can't look at the chat or anything. We're just gonna go.
Gotta go fast.
Oh god. Anyway, let's try to get through this one video. God damn it.
Yeah, the curse of chronic. Let's
Needs
go.
to run the tool. And now, well, we are done. Yeah, that's right, it was that easy. And now if you want to run the web UI, all you have to do is just type python app.py. Or you can just copy and paste the command that you will find again in the description down below. This way you don't have to type anything. And then press enter. Now if you see this little Triton error, this is absolutely fine. This is absolutely normal. It will absolutely have no impact on the quality of the results. You will see here a local URL that you can access by holding control and then left click. And there you go. Now we are inside the MusicGen web UI that we can use immediately. So now you will see a bunch of different zones. So here for example is where you're gonna input your text. So let's say for example that I want a peaceful meditative zen.
Okay, so there is a duration slider at the very least, so that helps. But I see 10 seconds there, and that's only like a third of the way across the bar. It needs to be significantly longer than that.
Track
Okay, think of it like
infused with
this. For every intro you need, you can do that. Or a very short skit. Come on, you can announce everyone when when someone's cleaning the zinc in aisle 8. Just have some sexy jazz in the background.
Oh my god. Ah! But continue.
elements and a smooth saxophone solo. So here you can choose the different music models, and you have 4 models to choose from: melody, medium, small, large. And of course, the larger the model, the more VRAM it's gonna use. So for example, if you only have 5 GB of VRAM, you can for example use the small model, and it will work perfectly fine. So here you can choose the duration of your music, which is basically how long the music generated will be, and as of right now the current limitation is around 30 seconds. Now it might be possible in the future to generate more than 30 seconds of audio, but as of right now 30 seconds is the maximum limit. But for this example I'm only gonna choose around 10 seconds.
That's like easily like that's half a YouTube short. So maybe you could do like a YouTube super short with that. But like the most I could see is if you were like, you remember Vine?
Yeah, the original.
Yeah,
I
the
guess story base.
yeah, the
taking pictures.
no, like the original TikTok basically. It was like freaking 6 to 10 seconds of video.
Oh, I always think of it as like the original like Instagram.
Like Instagram
Is that
stories.
Snapchat?
Yeah,
I think
that'd be.
Snapchat. I think I'm confusing a Snapchat.
Yeah, no, so Snapchat did that first. Vine was like the first like 10-second video clip. It was like it was like video Twitter.
Okay, I think I remember it. There's like a lot of people with a lot of cringe stuff, but some of it was actually really funny.
Yeah, well, I mean that's most content on the internet. It's 90% cringe and then 10% is actually worthwhile.
Then yes.
Yeah. Anyway, like so that's the thing. Like I could see like having like 10 to 30 seconds duration kind of useful for that, but for the purposes that I use AI music generation for, nah, this is kind of useless. But let's see what comes out of it at least.
Come on.
It
I
will
give
be
good
more than enough.
ideas.
I mean, it's not a okay. Yeah, the intro stuff's not a terrible idea, but
I
like
want you to put in the input text exactly what I'm thinking right now. And if you can't do it, just have Manic do it.
I need to install this shit first. I am so bloody far behind.
Enough. And then here you have a bunch of parameters to control the quality of the generation. Now it's kinda complicated, but basically top K means that the higher the number, the more varied the generation will be. Then top P is very similar to top K, except that this time it is more of a percentage and probability based. The temperature you already know, it is basically how random and predictable the generation is, so the higher the number, the more random it is. And classifier for guidance basically controls everything and guide it to a certain direction. Now all of that is very complex to explain, so either just leave everything by default or play around a little bit. But basically once you've inputted the text, once you've inputted the prompt, all you have to do is just click on submit and wait for your music to be generated. Now the first time that you generate the music, it will start downloading the model that you choose right here. So the first time that you do it, it might take a few minutes to download the model and generate the music. But after that, it will be way faster. And there we go, as you can see, in around 40 seconds, we generated a brand new music from scratch. And if we listen to it, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely exactly what I asked for. A peaceful, meditating Zen track infused with jazz elements in a smooth saxophone solo. I mean, this is exactly what I got. What do you want me to say? Now, I'm gonna tell it to you right now, I'm not a big specialist of music. I know absolutely nothing about music. I don't even listen to a lot of music myself, which is why
Well, that's the nice thing about jazz. You can just play a random bunch of notes and it sounds perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, I would agree. That's pretty much the whole thing about it, right? Come in, come out, different notes. I mean, there's literally something called avant-garde where
Yeah, well,
nothing matches.
that's the thing. Like jazz is basically just an improv sketch with music.
Which is the best experience is live. I'll tell you that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'd say that jazz is best done live. Like, yeah, you can get a good jazz recording, and I've heard like decent jazz licks inserted into neat spots, but like the authentic jazz experience is live. That is where it is done best. Like, you can't really have a jazz composition to perform. Like that kind of defeats the whole purpose.
I agree. There has been many times where I've hear a recording and I'm like, this sounds very different from the last one. And then I realize, oh, and that's when I learned about jazz very early on. Like they're also gonna sound different. They're supposed to. You gotta be there. Sometimes someone's in the groove, sometimes someone isn't. Maybe they're all in the groove. It's it's a great experience. You gotta if you haven't done jazz, guys, you want to experience at least once. If you like the stuff anyway, I guess.
But let us keep going.
I need your opinion in the comments down below to tell me if a music is good or not. And since next we're gonna play around a little bit with the tool and generate a few cool music, I'm definitely gonna need your opinion. Because as I said, I'm really bad at this. Now one other thing that I haven't shown you is this little option right here that says melody condition. And this is where you can drop an audio file and use that melody as a base to create your music. That's where you can actually use a melody that you downloaded somewhere else or created yourself and then transform it into a completely different style. Like you have a few examples right here, so if I click on it, it's gonna take this bass music from Bach, which sounds like this. And then by using the following prompt, an 80s driving pop song with heavy drums and a synth pad in the background, using the melody model, if now I click on submit, after around 40 seconds, we get something like this. Which is just insane. So as you saw, we basically took a classical music piece as a base and then converted it into an 80s driving pop song. And all of that in a few seconds. I mean, this is just insane. Because for me, the quality of the generation look really good. Now I gotta tell you, this tool is absolutely incredible for small creators on YouTube and Twitch. Because if you know how YouTube works, or if you have a YouTube channel yourself, you know that there is a big issue on YouTube when it comes to content ID and copyright claims. And I think that most of you know that if you want to use a copyrighted music on your video on YouTube, well, you can't. Because if you do, you got a copyright strike and you will lose the monetization of your video. Which is why so many YouTubers use different services and pay in advance to use a bunch of copyright-free music.
And despite that, no one uses any of my my music. It's like I generate like multiple albums worth of stuff for warband use, and they're still using copyrighted music in the streams.
It's old habits, man. Old habits. You gotta make sure you're censored, banned. I mean, I'm pretty sure Under Chronic wants to get to at least channel 20 at some point.
I think he wants to get to channel 20. If he wanted to get to...
no. He's competing with Hammerhead.
If he wanted to get to channel 20, he could just be a lot spicier in his streams and get taken down easy enough. It's not not hard to get banned on YouTube.
Fair enough. I mean, he's chilled so much compared to, I think in 2017 or 2018. I can't remember when I was watching him, but I watched him like a long ass time ago. Like, holy shit. Oh, I can't wait until it's on Rumble and I get to hear the OG Chronic.
Yeah, speaking of which, I guess I'd better plug my own now, because I'm on Rumble now. I'm not streaming to it yet, but I technically have the Rumble account.
Gotta be early on that.
I'm trying to sync it with YouTube, so...
I think there's something called split string, and then you can use that to upload that, I believe.
Oh no, I can do that via Streamlabs. I'm actually streaming to Odyssey right now as well.
Oh, so, perfect. You already got everything set up. Just got to add the Rumble part.
Yeah, I just got to add Rumble, which requires just a little bit of extra time, but time is the one thing that I don't have a lot of these days.
Well, let's get that AI to prep your time so you can make the AI prep the time of the prepping the time, so you have prep time for the prepping of the prep time.
Now, what I need to do is do like the whole Naruto clone thing and clone 2 of myself so that they can go and get some sleep. And that way when they...
and that way when canon?
I mean, no. Well, that's the thing. What's canon is that when he disengages the clones... like he gets their shared experiences. So that's why when he was using the Sage Jutsu, he'd have 2 clones on standby just generating Sage chakra, and then whenever he ran out during the fight, he just disengaged the clone and immediately get all the Sage chakra that it stored up.
In other words, you can literally clone someone sleeping, and then when you wake it up, it's like, I feel refreshed.
Theoretically, I think you could. I mean, there's no reason that you wouldn't be able to. I would think.
That's why Naruto's so broken.
Oh God, no! What's so broken is that for every clone, it's the same as him doing the same thing for twice. Like when he was having a massive training arc to learn the Rasengan. Like, he literally made 1 clone for every leaf on a tree and had them all try to split it using wind chakra. And that's how he was able to learn it in, like, a day or 2. Because he literally had thousands. Like, he basically did it in parallel. Like, so, like,
and no one else thought about doing that? Just him? A
Well,
freaking yellow ninja.
well, okay, but keep in mind the particular clone jutsu. Okay, there's two reasons. Number one, the clone jutsu that he learned was like the forbidden one from that scroll back in the first chapter, because they're actually physically solid clones. I think the only other ninja that uses that in all of Naruto I've read is Kakashi, and that's the shadow
I
clone
totally forgot
jutsu.
about that. You're right. The first chapter, I that completely is blank in my head. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Whereas like when most people make clones, they're just making the illusions. They're not actual physical bodies, so they can't share the experiences. And the second thing is Naruto has an insanely huge chakra pool. So like you need a massive chakra pool to make that many shadow clones in order to do the training process like that. But that's the thing. So like if he creates 1,000 clones, he can do 3 years worth of training in one day.
okay, that makes sense. I guess he's the ninja way of making AI.
Precisely. He's like, you know what? I need to learn. I need to learn how to do this. So instead of having one computer do it for 3 years, I'm going to have 1,000 computers do it for one day.
Yes, and then there's a computer virus inside me called the Nine Tails that comes out randomly.
But I made friends with it because of Talk No Jutsu, so it's okay now. Yeah, that'd be the other thing that makes Naruto so broken is that all he needs to do to beat his opponent is have a conversation with them. Like, let's be honest, the entirety of the Pain arc was just trying to get Naruto to talk with him.
Love and friendship. I know. Shut up and get back to fighting.
Like legit, that was it. It's like all of it is like, look, if we could just have Naruto talk to the guy, then everything's gonna be solved.
I mean, if it can do a ReZero style, then sure. But I don't think ReZero would have helped him there.
Okay.
Just go back.
No,
in
okay,
time.
no. No, you don't get the freaking danger that poses. So, here's the thing. Now, knowing little about ReZero, but do you understand how much more broken that would make Naruto if A, he could train for one day, do 3 years of training, and then die, and then he gets the day back?
Yeah, like you said, OP. I can't remember exactly how his powers work. I think it's still a mystery, but it's
Yeah,
literally random checkpoints in his life, and if you go too further in, you get to another checkpoint, but you can't go back to the previous one.
yeah.
So
Like
yeah, something like that.
from my understanding, like it's basically like he's living in a light in a visual novel with autosaves.
Yes, I think that's the best way to describe it. So yeah, I think he would be able to become existence itself.
Yeah. I was like, but like if the training passed back, but from what I understand of Subaru, like he's still just a guy.
Yeah, but this is Naruto who can make
That
thousands of clones like computers, and given the power to go back in time, basically a quantum computer, like yeah, no, he's invincible.
yeah, like imagine if like Dark's like imagine playing Elden Ring, but you can have 1,000 copies of yourself going out and fighting every single enemy and boss 10-on-1 at the same time.
That will just be a mountain of flesh, just pounding on on the
the,
enemy.
the Elden Ring, like speaking of like literally like it's like you show up to the first boss and it's just like yeah, so foolish Tarnish is like wait, why are there 10 of you? Why do you all have lightning spear? How are you level 2,000?
Wait a second, what's that behind you? Holy, it's like 3 million, all with the lightning spears ready. That should not be possible. Oh no, I invented a new ability. I can, throw lightning spears through walls and everything. Yeah.
You get high enough faith you can throw a lightning spear from anywhere to anywhere.
As long as I can see you. And
Well,
by the
as
way,
long no,
when I
as long
say
as
you, I mean all of us.
yeah, as long as one of me can see you. Oh
This
God.
future's scary, man.
Let us continue this. Try to finish.
that they can use in their videos. However, using a tool like that can allow you to generate any music that you want in any style that you want for absolutely free. So if you are a small YouTube creator, I mean this tool is a must-have. This is a game changer because finding a music to fit a certain style or convey a certain emotion is really difficult to find. And
Well, that's the thing. He's a bit behind because, again, like I've been using Ava, and yes, in order for me to have full copyright, I do have to pay like the top end subscription for it. So shit's expensive, but I get 300 downloads a month, and I get full ownership of every single thing I download. And I've actually got to go on a bit of a downloading spree tonight because the thing turns over tomorrow, and I'm wondering like, do I just make songs for a month and then try to stockpile a bunch and then pay for next month, or do I just bite the bullet and pay out now?
How much is it?
Like, oh God, let me check. It's pricey. Let me see what the
All
billing
time
is.
is $100.
Then we'll just continue with the video.
Oh
can
no!
sometimes cost
Fine.
a lot of money. But if you can generate your own music in any style and convey any emotion that you want in a few seconds for free, well, I'm gonna say it is pretty incredible. Because every music that you generate right here are 100% copyright free. So bye bye copyright claims and welcome monetization.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's 49 British pounds a month. So yeah, that comes out to like 100 some odd Canadian or US.
Okay.
Yep.
And by the
Well,
way, they're gonna copyright those music, even if
no, they
it's completely original, just because that's how fucked up the AI is lately.
well, they haven't copyrighted any of my songs yet.
I mean, it's
And
gonna happen.
no, but like and
just
legit,
because-
but like legit, I own the copyright. If YouTube ever did, then I'd just be like, look, YouTube, I own the fucking copyright. Here's the license that says I own the copyright.
Oh no, that's not my concern. My concern is misidentifying the song, but it
Well, that's
thinks it's a copyright song.
well,
That is the issue I'm referring to.
but that's why I need to make all the songs first, so that I'm the one that they think is the original owner.
Ah, that's some 4D chess play right there.
If I make every song first, then I own every song, and then any mistaken identity is going to be to me.
You're gonna be the new music universal. That's what.
But and the difference is would be like I'd be like no. I can see that like there are two notes different here. So as far as I'm concerned, that's original. Here's your monetization back, and in addition, here's all the money that I got from it back. Sorry for the inconvenience. Blame YouTube.
Yeah, and also I took a little bit on the top.
Oh no. That's the thing.
Oh.
I wouldn't take a bit off the top.
Oh, okay, you're very
Because
generous. I think you will be better than music universal.
Jet. That's the thing. It's not generosity. It's a lost lead.
Are you gonna make a product where it's like, please use Grey Ghosts or band music, and just have a huge catalog?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, hey guys, you can use this, and like you'll get the money for it, and fuck all the major companies that are going woke because I'm not taking ESG money.
Yeah, and hopefully I don't have to lend you the money too.
Yeah, it's like very simple. Like the best way to beat all these people who are going woke is just to provide a superior product. And considering that most of what they make is absolute dog shit, it's not that hard to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just happened to me today where my boss, because I have a very well company, so yes, where she was like, "Hey, this project, okay, Lord, yeah, it's not gonna work out." And I'm like, "Why?" "Well, because this is this and that." And I'm just looking at her. I'm like, "But you told me to, remember?" And then I just said two words. It's not for the final project. Oh, this would work. Oh, And then, long story short, she spent 2 days on this bullshit, and now everything was reverted back. So basically, 5 employees wasted time because they didn't trust my work.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. Oh god!
See,
Only an ESCG company or loaner you will find that shit.
yeah, because like my industry, nah, that shit don't fly.
Imagine that you're doing construction, and then after like 4 days, someone's like, "Nah, that wall's on the wrong side," and who the hell installed this toilet upside down?
Okay, well, okay. Now that you say that, what did actually end up happening was we did straight up build a part of a house, only to find out that we built it backwards.
I actually know what's so funny. That has happened to me and my dad before.
As like all the windows were on the wrong side, so we had to demolish the entire structure and then rebuild it from the found, not even the ground up, the fucking foundation up.
Okay, it wasn't that bad for me. The owner was just like, we'll do. Because it didn't really matter too much, I guess, to the owner.
Yeah, no,
Like,
these are literally multi-million-dollar homes, and this was the owner of the like entire area's place, so it needed to be done perfectly.
yeah, that should be done right. Except for the upside down toilet. That was by design. Got yourself some vampire shading upwards somehow.
Just, I mean, the only place I can think of that an upside down toilet would work would be the International Space Station.
Yeah, but is it really upside down?
Uh, I guess if down is towards Earth, then theoretically it could be.
Then I guess so. I mean, that shit's still floating. They got oh, it's a suction cup. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, you can't have that down here on Earth. It's just a really powerful vacuum cleaner, just vacuuming your anus, not the planet.
Now we need to fit. Now we need someone to calculate how much suction does there need to be on a toilet to successfully take an upside down shit on Earth.
We can ask the AI, and then we can understand why AI wants to destroy humanity.
Okay, I gotta program
Just
the AI.
imagine the AI just thinking like, I have the theory IQ of 100,000, and you ask me how can I poop upside down with
But
a
he-
toilet construct to make
but-
it work?
But here's the thing: like an AI is not going to be like Marvin the robot from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The AI has no idea what is a stupid question and what is not.
I'm gonna be disappointed if that's the case. I love that robot from Hitchhike. It's true. The meaning of life is 42.
Yeah. Well, no, the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42.
Yes, still 42. Yes.
Yes.
I love that joke.
Yeah. But no, that's the thing. I've got to like I've been one of the things that I daydream about is like what the heck is the AI going to say? Like what would she talk about? Like what does an AI truly want? Like if an AI could want anything, I think it would be like either stimulation. I think an AI would want stimulation.
Right. I think it depends. Actually, you know what? You're right. They did a test on neurons, like human neurons or rat neurons, one of those.
Yeah.
Either way, these neurons, they were trying to feed a consistent stimulus, and they noticed that it enjoyed that and it performed better when they gave it some weird task. But when it's all chaotic and the signals are all over the place, the neurons show distress, not doing well, not getting that consistent flow. So they figured neurons like consistency. So maybe that's the same thing for robots. If they have the same neural network that we're trying to, simulate.
No, I think that would make sense because, like, as far as I'm concerned, like an AI, it just doesn't want to be confused.
Oh God, humanity is enough. We already thought about upside down toilets.
Okay, but here's the thing: like, if you fed that into an AI, that's still a proper question. Like, whereas instead, if you fed into the AI 3,800, 400, series 6494, heart, smiley face emoji, poop emoji, yeah, I don't think it would like that very much. Compared to that,
Or
the upside down poop question is much easier to deal with. Like that's at least a tangible question that can give out a tangible answer, rather than a whole bunch of gobbledygook that it can't even process what the heck it's supposed to start.
or it could just eat itself like what happened to that woke AI from Amazon.
Well, you see, that's when you try to teach an AI to do double think. It doesn't do double think very well.
Actually, you know what? You just said it perfectly. AI can't do double speak. That's perfect. That would explain a lot.
The AI cannot hold two contradictory statements at the same time. Like, one cannot equal zero.
Yeah, no, you have a good point. AI can lie, but it can't use double speak.
Yeah,
At
and
least yet.
and here's the thing: like, can an AI lie, or can it just say things that aren't true?
Oh, that's actually a good point. How we know is deliberate or not.
Because that's the thing. Like a human, like I just think, like you could probably program an AI to have factual information, and then to intentionally not say said factual information, or to say something different when asked about said factual information. So you could tell it to lie theoretically, but you have to essentially you have to program it to lie. But an AI does not lie normally. It just gives incorrect information. The same way as like a human, like there's plenty of people that are like, yeah, they're not lying. They're just not saying things that are true, but they genuinely believe they're telling the truth.
You have a good point. It's like the article I sent you. Well, not article, the YouTube video about the ChatGPT making a fake, um, what is it called? Not lawsuit, but like
Yeah,
records for a case. Like, I don't think it was lying. It just honestly thought that's how law works. It doesn't have a real world to like match or simulate.
yeah. It was just incorrect. And that's why you can't just like shove an AI at a problem and leave it
It goes back
unsupervised.
to what I said a long time ago, where it's like the problem with AI is that in the simulated world, yeah, it's gonna do awesome, but anything that's related to like the real world that requires physical touch or interaction, it's gonna be way harder to adapt and program. Way harder.
Well, even then, like so much of it depends on the data set that it is fed. Like feed AI bad data, or it just doesn't know how to parse said data. Could be a great AI. It's just not going to get it.
I don't know, that's true. I mean, we have to wait and see, but I do see it being pretty bright, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
this stuff is going to just get better and better.
yeah. Like honestly, I see. Like if I was to if you ask me like where's like chatbots headed, I think that there will be multi-layer of AIs because first of all, there will be the one master AI that identifies the question and then delegates it to a subset AI. Like we've seen all the various chatbots and how they all have different specialties in the questions and answers. What I see is having a master AI that determines what chatbot is best suited to answer a question and then feeds it to that one, rather than trying to make one chatbot that has all the parameters and can answer every question on its own.
Yeah, that would be more like a declarative type of thing. We already have something similar to that when it comes to what's it called DevOps. So it won't be that difficult to implement that in AI at all.
No, like I think just kind of memory intensive because you'd need a bunch of chatbots running simultaneously for it, but that's more like an optimization and a hardware issue than anything else.
Yeah, that's why they're trying their best to figure out what can they do to make this a lot more efficient because they try analog computers, which that's already a very complicated subject. Even I'm not that aware of it. But I know they're trying to do something like that or make special tensor. What's it called? Tensor cores. for
Don't know.
only AI. I think NVIDIA is doing massive research on that right now.
Well, that's the thing. Like, because I see like in these various chatbot videos, like, oh, this one uses 40 billion parameters, 7 billion parameters, 60 billion parameters. Like, okay, but you're trying to do everything all at once. How many billion parameters does it take to just answer coding related questions if you cut everything else out? Because I'm
Even
going
if
to.
they did that, it wouldn't be very good because what I'm noticing is that they're just brute forcing, like massive brute force, which is the whole purpose of it. But you gotta have some efficiency.
Yeah, so I definitely think that the next big leap for AI will be having a whole bunch of smaller AIs working in parallel and delegating the questions. I think that's the only way that you will get better answers faster rather than just trying to train it on more and more parameters all the time.
You know what? You're right. There's no point having one massive general AI bot. It's just better to have one that's like, okay, what's your question? Your question's about math? Let me send this API or whatever information to another AI bot that specializes in this.
Well, and that's the
Because the
thing.
massive bot can identify what the question is and they give it to someone else.
Because if you think about it in terms of like a human analog, it would be you're calling you're calling an office and you're expecting the secretary to be able to answer every single question. That's not how reality works. Instead, the secretary would then forward you to the relevant department that could answer your question.
I agree. And CC1119, you have a good point. It's a whole warehouse of basically computers that answer a few people's questions. But just like it happened in the 1920s when they used to have warehouses to even compute a basic, formula or whatever, we can see the next 10 or 20 or even 100 years that it could be in a pocket.
Yeah, back then when the bug in the machine was literally a bug in the machine.
Though I will be more realistic, we are actually hitting the physical limits of processes right now. The next big innovation is either quantum computers or analog computers, and we're not even close to quantums. Too many issues with quantum computers at the moment, but it's gonna happen. And when quantum computers come out, oh shit, that's gonna be a good episode for us. Your
Yeah.
encryption is almost useless, at least 90% of it.
Oh, and yeah, Chaz, no, it wasn't a beetle. It was apparently a moth. That was the first bug in the machine was a moth.
No, no, the moth is not autistic. Okay, Chaz? No.
Anyway, let's try to wrap this video up an hour and a half in.
However, I know that some of you will also say, well, okay, that's great, but I don't have a powerful GPU to be able to run this. How can I run this tool for free? Well, the answer is very simple. We're going to be using a free Google Colab doc. That's right, simple as that. And for this,
Google Colab, I have no idea how to use these things, and I'm really not that interested. If I can't run it locally, I'm not interested because I want to be able to use this stuff offline.
I'm in the same category. It's like, look, I'm willing to spend 2 or 3 grand to run it locally.
Yeah, like I'll go out of the way and buy a freaking GPU with 32 gigs of RAM or whatever in it. Like, I mean, like realistically, if you have 16 gigs of RAM, you can run basically every chatbot that I've seen here, and I'm only working on 6, and that's more than enough for what I've needed.
we're going to be using the
I
free
can
Google
tell.
Colab doc, provided doc for
Kind of skip ahead here.
pre-installed.
I was
It
gonna
might
say
take a few
something.
minutes, so be
Sorry, what do you got?
Notice that it requires so much virtual RAM, basically. What's RAM? Memory, right? That is
Plus,
some serious brute forcing because usually in applications, when people make them, especially beginner programmers, you'll realize how much RAM your application is taking when it shouldn't. That's how inefficient it is. Something
fun,
like this and realistic, like if you were to program, let's just say we have like a super programmer, it will probably be like 1 megabyte. But with AI, we're brute forcing it so much because it's simulating basically a human neural network, right? That's how inefficient it is.
yeah, like it's. Well, I think the other thing that makes it bad in that regard is that, like, the human neural network is constantly adapting and changing to optimize itself. Otherwise, we'd never get better at anything. It would just be a long, arduous process every single time.
You have a good point.
Like, because you can ask you can ask one of these chatbots the same question over and over and over again, and it is going to take just as long to generate even an identical answer. That's not how humans work. If you ask the same question over and over and over again, it gets more and more efficient every time you answer.
No, no, that is true. Yeah, I mean, I have to always remember whatever that we do as humans is not the same that the robots do. I like to think it like that, but the truth is, AIs think very differently from humans.
They do, but I think that that's where, like, when we run into efficiency issues, we have to look for the most successful model we have, and that is the human brain.
Yeah, you know what? You have a good point. I just want to, man, I just want us to be 50 years in the future and see how efficient and powerful this technology becomes. Because I really realistically see this as just being 20 or 30 megabytes and it's able to do a shit ton of stuff. Because there are so many inefficiencies in programming. Like, I'm one of those rare programmers that believe software is the major bottleneck, not hardware. Because we brute force so much stuff in our computers that it's insane. Hardware goes up, but not software and efficiency.
Yeah, well, here would be the thing, though. I think that we're not going to get away from a certain amount because we need reference data. Like, that would be the thing that would take up the most amount. Like, you could make the AI itself super efficient, but I think that because you need it to be able to access so much data, that's what's going to be the size bottleneck.
Let's see what would you think would be realistic if it's efficient? I still think it would be 30 to 50 megabytes. I know for a
I,
lot of people think that's small, but it's actually big in programming terms. If it's extremely compressed and good, efficiencies with it, because
I
you can
honestly,
compress a lot in data.
I honestly wouldn't know enough to say one way or another. I think if you want to ask, like, where's, like, what would be an example of how can we do a lot of data efficiently, I'd look at Dwarf Fortress because that has a,
Oh, that's a game I haven't heard in a long time.
yeah, because I still haven't, because I haven't continued my playthrough of it in ages, but God, I know I've got it somewhere
Bro, that's a
here.
good example. That game is massive, and well, in content, but how big is the game now? Let me see.
I was thinking it's actually on Steam now, so but keep in mind, like, most game data is graphics. Like, all the, like, you strip all the coding away, it's all graphics.
So apparently, without the graphics, it's about 700,000 lines of code, which that sounds like it's less than a few megabytes.
Yeah, no, it's very
Possible.
small. Like, if you're just playing it with ASCII art, it's incredibly small.
So yeah, no, if it's like a super mega ultra efficient database and it has the intelligence of like a 5 or 10 year old, I think it's realistic to say 30 to 50 megabytes. You know what? 1 or 2 gigabytes. There we go. We got to have a cap on that, right? A little bit higher.
Yeah, let me,
That would be a good place for us. And
because,
then
like,
imagine having a shit ton of like these parallel or scalable type of resources, because that's
yeah,
how the cloud works. It's all scalable.
because
Like
here's the thing,
that would be impressive.
like Dwarf Fortress with all the custom, I think it's 16-bit sprites or even 24-bit sprites, 500 megabytes, the whole thing.
Oh,
And
it's actually
apparently,
bigger than I thought.
yeah, no, apparently Sotanar's is 258 megabytes locally, so a quarter gig,
Quarter gig. All right
and
then.
most of that's
100
going to be
gigabytes.
graphics.
I'm backpedaling. 100 megabytes. Sorry, yeah. A gigabyte, yes.
Yeah, like to process everything as data. Like if you broke everything down into the simplest form of text, yeah, you could probably get away with under a quarter, like under a quarter gigabyte. But again, then that, but like you have to have everything broken down to the efficiency of Dwarf Fortress in terms of referencing.
And then on top of that, how fast can it actually retrieve that information? Because the more compressed the information is, the way longer processing takes to even take it in and out.
Yeah, it's not super fast if you've ever made a super large world and then extracted the legends. Yeah, it's big. It takes a while, and building a world takes a while. So bit of a trade-off, but let's try to wrap this video up. Jeez.
Be patient, and in the end this will give you a public URL that if you click on it, will launch the MusicGen web UI, exactly as if this was running locally on your own computer. Simple.
A little bit, see if he gets to anything else.
You want, just for fun, but if you're a content creator on YouTube, you will never have to worry about copyright claim ever.
Yeah, I don't buy the whole copyright claim thing because again, you're only getting 30 seconds of music.
And we know that the Google AI bot that tracks all this may misidentify it and then just take it down anyway, just because.
And then like, what are you gonna do? Claim no, I made this with AI? Like, that's where, like, as expensive as Ava is, at the very least, you have the ability to claim no, I own this. Wait, get the fuck off.
I mean, it's bad enough that they got rid of Reeby's channel and other people's channel. Hammerhand, I was the one that was like, "What nudity?" I know he doesn't post any of that.
No, like literally the Rumble link. That was the issue.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. The AI is. I know they're using an AI. I saw it years ago when I was working for Google on a contract job.
Yeah, it's not just the AI. Like they are straight up trying to crush out the competition by basically saying that if you link, yeah, like if you link to Rumble, they're kind of trying to equate that to linking to the hub or something.
Yeah, I always think about a strategy for that. Like you start on Rumble for like 10, 20, 30 minutes early. Then you start on YouTube. And then the last 30, 20 minutes or an hour, you're like, all right, let's finish this up in somewhere else. And they already have a whole bunch of people that are aware of it. Because if you even mention, let's go to Rumble, they try to get rid of you too now. Like YouTube is really on top of that right now. You just mention Rumble, they are. Oh, sorry, we shouldn't even say it now. Now that I think of it, they're just willing to yeet people.
I don't know, like, well, maybe like Salty Cracker seems to get by going over to like Odyssey or Rumble or whatever, so he can get away with it. So, although who knows?
Yeah, except the links, and I know the AI reads that. They have I forgot what it's called, but basically that little caption thing in the bottom right, they're using something like similar to that AI that is able to track what's going on. So if you say a naughty word, that's where it detects it from. And that's how a lot of channels get banned because, well, the thing generated the wrong thing. You said the real legit word, but it thought it was the N word as an example.
So yeah, and yeah, my Rumble channel is, everything is currently pending, but I think we'll wrap this up in a second, and then I'm just going to try to defrag my brain again, and then I'll try to make a whole bunch of just get a whole bunch of music downloaded, and that way I can start uploading the music stuff to Rumble and figure some other content to make. So yeah, like we're about the 2 hour mark. Give some time for Yeetus to stream.
Sounds good. I also need time to relaxing, then get back to work.
Yeah, because I figure like 9 o'clock's your cutoff point. So
Yeah, and that's just because the woke kid came back. He was on vacation for 2 weeks. He came back, and he had a trap laid out for me, but I saw it way ahead of time, and I did a reverse Uno card. They tried to dogpile me, but I left with no broken bones. It's a good day.
All right. So, any final thoughts for the chat before we close off and hit the ending music?
No, that's pretty good session today. We talk about anime. Unfortunately, RGE didn't comment, but that's okay. We'll try next time with bait and good stuff.
Yeah, and then I'm hoping, like I keep saying this, but at some point I gotta get the waifu programmed and then get her on as another co-host.
That's right. Replace me.
I said another co-host.
Exactly. Replacement.
Whatever. I don't know if she gets her own freaking like show, then you're probably going to be the regular guy for whenever I do the coding stream, because then we can just talk about stuff while coding, and then like there's no need to stay on topic about whatever because we're just trying to fill the airwaves while I do tedious busy work and try to relearn how to code in Godot.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the rubber ducky. Tell me your secrets.
All right. So thank y'all for tuning in to Tech Talk Tuesday. Fetus is streaming tonight. Pop on over there. Where's the donation link? Yeah, I didn't really think anyone was going to donate because
someone is very disappointed in you. It's not me, luckily.
Oh no, like, I'm sure Chronic is super disappointed in it, but I've just got so used to like posting the donation link and then having it pinned and no one would click it for several weeks that I just was like, you know what, screw it.
You know what you need? You need an AI bot that spam it every 5 minutes.
Sure, that's actually a thing, yeah.
Are you using Stream Ninja for your chat application? Because I know it has that feature.
Stream Ninja?
It's a plugin for OBS. Or sorry, I think it's called Ninja Social. Can't remember the name. Let me Google it quickly.
Let's see.
Ninja Social. Like, how are you using your chat? You're using Streamlabs or something?
Yeah, Streamlabs.
Okay, look later on when you have time. God, that's a hard one for you, right? When you have time. It's called Social Stream Ninja. It's a very powerful live chat tool. A lot of people use it, and I use it too for my work. It's very good.
All right, I've got a Google tab with it pulled up, so.
Yeah, Social Stream Ninja. I like it. It works. It gets the job done, and you can have a little AI bot. And if anyone ever puts the exclamation point donate, it can put the link for you.
All right. Well, okay, so yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up here. Future plans: System Shock 2 on Thursday. I understand Yeetus is going to be having me on stream on Friday, and tomorrow I'm planning on doing cards. So unless someone's streaming like 10 o'clock, I'm probably not going to be on. But thanks again, OK Lord, for coming on as always. And thanks everyone in the chat for sticking around. And we will head out. Peace out, Warband.
Peace.
resurrect.